What this actually you have to do? You have to do control clockwise using this big brake bar. The bolt is very stubborn. As soon as you will make him loose, use a regular large ratchet. And then don't forget to position the drain pan. You're draining the transmission oil, new Mazda 66. This is the bolt itself. That's why this tool fitted perfectly in this bolt. So basically without socket, the same size as the socket have. Pretty greasy. Oil is still draining. You have to wait completely till you will drain all transmission fluid, and the next on your way will be disconnection of those transmission fluid hoses which are bringing transmission fluid to the cooler. You can disconnect it from here, or you can disconnect from here and from here, either way. In my opinion, it's easier to access those hoses from the bottom of your vehicle. You see, it's a lot more easier to access. Spray with WD-40 before removal. After you drained all transmission fluid, took a couple of hours to completely drain it. You can put the drain plug back in, and you can start removing the axles. You can start removing axle lug nuts by using a 32 millimeter axle nut, axle socket, which I rented in AutoZone for $20. Firstly, put the drain plug back in. The axle nut is very tight, that's why you have to put the tire back on and lower the vehicle. When you put the tire back, just put it on a few bolts, position the 32 millimeter axle socket on a axle nut and loosen it counterclockwise. It's pretty tight, just take time, you can use your leg. 32 millimeter was too large, it was too loose. I plugged something very close to 31 millimeter, it was too loose as well. When I rented the 30 millimeter socket, I cannot fit it there. So the socket must be 31 millimeter. But you cannot rent such type of socket in AutoZone. You only can buy him. In Mazda manual it says that axle could be removed using the 32 millimeter. Look how it looks when you're trying to fit him. Way too loose. The 30 millimeter one you cannot even fit him. He doesn't fit. So to do the job properly, I need to order the 31 millimeter. This socket you need to use, it's 31 millimeter. It's an impact socket. Let's try to impact using the impacts. After some struggling and using the WD-40 OPB blaster, successfully removed the axle nut. Just put it back. And then remove the same nut from the other side and start removing the axles. And as I mentioned before, I used 31mm impact socket. Removing the second axle nut, firstly you have to remove those locks. You have to straighten it up everywhere, make sure that nothing is not blocking. Just use a flat screwdriver to straighten everything up. This is the best way to do it. You're using the mallet, hitting like this. It goes inside and then you straighten it up. Take it out like this to remove these locks. Pretty simple. When you finish straightening it up, spray it with some amount of D40. Make sure that your compressor is pumped to 90 psi, because to be fully operational of the torque of 350 per square inch, this gun uses 90 psi. Make sure that your compressor compressed enough air to have 90 psi in it. Just simple as that. For me personally, brake bar did not help. Maybe because I don't have an extension pipe to give it more torque. I removed the axle nut using the simple gun twice. The next step, you have to loosen those two bolts. It's using a 17mm socket. Use a deep socket, it will be easier for you to reach. You can use impact gun or either the brake bar to make it loose. Just do it counterclockwise. Remove those two bolts, the upper bolt and the lower bolt, located right underneath the bolt which is on top. So you remove those two bolts, start removing the screws which are holding the assembly on place. You can use your hands. If it's holding inside, you can take the mallet and hit like this, and bolts will start coming out. Remove those two bolts. When those two bolts successfully removed by you, you can disengage the assembly by using the flat screwdriver. You have to put it right there and you will slide off this assembly. Next step that need to be performed by you, you need to disconnect the axle itself, which starts here and finishes in the transmission itself. Usually in the side of the transmission, this axle is held on a clamp. I don't know about this particular model, we'll see it right now. This is how it looks when axle is partially removed. To remove it from this end, always use gloves because all these parts are very greasy. You have to slide it as far as possible and then you have to bend it like this and it will come out. Try to support this piece with something to prevent the damage, since it's not mounted on top anymore. And use gloves because very greasy parts.